Taco Bell is not that bad. They are just overpriced. I think it's because with Taco Bell, like the thing that we have on that is that, like, I think we're not supposed to compare it to Mexican food, at least like in the Valley. Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Grande podcast. I'm Sam. A couple weeks or month ago, I made a post on Reddit, and I titled it RGV Unpopular Opinions. And I asked any hot takes or RGV unpopular opinions you think other locals might not agree with. And we got comments, 139 comments of unpopular opinions. I mean, that's what I asked for. That's what I got. But as I was sifting through them, I realized, like, man, normally our show is like more, positive message, the fun things to do in the Valley, the awesome people, places, stories, just like a positive light on the area. But when you ask for unpopular opinions, you're going to get things that are talking about things that are maybe not like the prettiest or that we often talk about. So I kind of wanted to come here and just address them unbiased, right? Reading what people had to say and getting your thoughts on it. Let us know in comments what you think. This is the first comment that comes out. People here have less respect for the environment than many other places in the US. Like, for example, here it also talks about littering. It says littering is common. That one, okay. So here, this is an example of when I was scrolling, and I had to take a moment and think about it. And I was like, man, that is one that we could probably improve on a little bit here in the Valley, a lot maybe. One thing that I've always remembered growing up. Let me know if it's a Valley thing or not. I've always lived here, so my perspective isn't. I don't have, exposure to other parts of the country or other parts of the world. But one thing I remember growing up is always seeing diapers, like Pampers, in the parking lots. Like, man, and that one did irk me like for a long time. It still does. I mean, so I haven't noticed it as much. Maybe our generation of parents is not doing it as much anymore. But I don't know, like, is that something that happens in other places? But even if it does, it's something that, oh man, like I've seen it a little bit too much. And it's always like the Walmart parking lot, like that everyone wants to like throw diapers and it's horrible too, because it's like why a diaper? Like we can do better than that, guys. And people did mention that actually the I saw it somewhere, like the throwing soiled diapers, like, and there's like trash cans close by, and a lot of people were agreeing that is a big issue, the whole, well, not the diaper thing, but the littering and just not caring about the environment. That's pretty significant because a large part of our tourism economy. So if you think about, so when people come as tourists to visit the Valley, there's a big chance that they're probably coming for birding, or like South Padre Island. Like fishing is pretty popular here. SPI is like the resort island of the state. And that's all nature based, right? So if we're like developing like left and right, just kind of like without caring about what's happening to the environment, that is going to take a toll on us. Speaking of, things that we have going on here that's like fun, a lot of it is outdoors, right? So like hunting, fishing, birding, ranch, stargazing. We have to go outside in nature to do that. So we have to have the nature to do that. So that one was okay. I can see that. The top rated comment says, we work for the cheapest price and we work hard for little pay. That's nothing to be proud of. That's kind of the gist of what that comment is saying. And a lot of people were agreeing with him, like, yeah, like, why do we act like we're so like proud of of our work if we're not making anything for it? That's probably something that's probably not an unpopular opinion, actually, now that I think about it. But it was just like the most the top rated comment, and it has like paragraphs of responses. So I guess that one did get people going. I'm going to address this one because it's like I said, there was 139 comments. There's probably like 100 of those talking about this. I'll just read the first one that I came across. The driving culture here sucks and hate to admit when they are in the wrong on the road. Those are two different things, right? The driving culture sucks. I want to ask something. So if anyone who talks about the Valley is going to mention Valley drivers, right? That we all suck at driving. And this is another thing, and I've talked about it before. Every time we're talking about that, we say they or y'all or you all. Like, if we continue to think that way, we're never going to improve on anything because we're always waiting for the other guy to fix the problem because it's never us. But that's kind of a separate issue. But anyway, so this is what I want to know. And let us know in the comments, right? If you can figure this one out. We hear a lot about the Valley being bad at driving, right? So we can say, okay, so the Valley is bad at driving, but why? Like, why are Valley drivers so bad? Why do we suck at driving? What do you think it is? There's a lot of people that say, well, you know, people are bad at driving everywhere. It's not just an RGV problem, but it is like a crying. It is one of the biggest things that people have, you know, against the 956 that we don't know how to drive. Why do you think that is, though? Like, is it like is it an education thing? I mean, we all went to driver's ed. Just why? Tell me why. Why do we suck so bad? Enough to where like everyone's like passionate about it, right? Like, everybody sucks at driving. Like why that like fire in your heart when you say that? Like, it has to, like, we have to really be terrible. So you have to have a reason why, right? And then it says they also hate to admit when they are in the wrong on the road. So that one does get me a little bit when we kind of notice that, like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of us tend to think that everyone else is the problem. Or like, for example, when it comes to like traffic, it's like, oh man, I hate traffic. When you say that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel the same way if it's taking long, but we have to remember that like 10th Street or the expressway is not ours. It's not my street, it's our street, right? So it's like the road doesn't belong to any one of us. It's a community thing. So like, if the traffic's bad, well, we are part of the traffic too. So we can only complain so much. We have to think about it that way though, because like we tend to like think that like we're, you know, like we're perfect angels for everything. So I guess that's what this person means. We hate to admit when we're in the wrong on the road. And then someone here says, I've lived in Atlanta and the drivers here are 80,000 times worse. It is insane. This is my favorite comment from this entire thread. So again, somebody said, Valley drivers suck. Everybody here is terrible at driving. And then somebody commented, my horn has laryngitis. Because like they're like honking so much at people that like the horn is like, yeah, parale, like I'm tired. That was funny. That one actually made me laugh a little bit. Whoever that is, dude, that was pretty funny. Sad though, but that was pretty funny. Somebody else commented, we apparently have some of the worst drivers in the country, so I'm honestly not surprised by this take. I grew up here, so I didn't know until someone pointed it out to me. Yeah, I'll say this. I actually recently had Dr. Jeffrey Skubich on the podcast. He's the director of trauma at DHR Health. And I asked him, because he's the trauma director, right? So like, I asked him, everyone says that the Valley sucks at driving. Do we have more auto accidents, like more traumas? And he didn't really like, he was kind of like we have accidents, but it was more of like, I mean, yeah, we have auto accidents for sure. Like, you know, we drive cars here, so we're going to have accidents. But he didn't see like, because he's been like in New Jersey, he did his residency, his fellowship, so he's been around the country as a trauma surgeon, as a doctor, and he didn't necessarily like agree or feel that we have more accidents because we are bad at driving. So that, I mean, that's a silver lining, right? Like at least we're not like crashing every 5 minutes. Unless you think we are. Tell me if we're wrong about that one. RGV drivers are bad in a way that can't be quantified. I'm probably the only person here that will complain about people going too fast. For real. I learned to drive in a small college town in Indiana where people went 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. But I swear, here in the RGV, you can't go 10 miles an hour over the speed limit in a school zone or residential street without some lifted F-150 monstrosity tailgating you with their high beams on. And then he adds like a separate paragraph, like he goes down. People here are simultaneously always in a rush to get to the next red light, but also always on their phone on a red light. So I have to honk at them to go when it turns green. Make it make sense. Somebody says, what are you talking about? I'm from Austin, and it's exasperating how slow people drive in here. So now we got two different takes, right? Somebody's saying that everyone's like flying, even like in neighborhoods and school zones. And someone else is saying, man, people here drive too slow. So I guess we have a little bit of both, a little back and forth action there. It's too easy to get your licenses. Maybe that's why. Oh, that might be the answer to my question, because I asked, everyone says we drive bad, but why do you think that is? Somebody said it's too easy to get your license. I won't comment on that. If you know me personally, you know that I didn't have that experience of it being easy. But anyway, somebody says, this is not an unpopular opinion, my dude. There's at least one post a day complaining about bad drivers on this sub. Ooh, this is a good one. There are plenty of things to do in the valley, but people just don't want to go because it's too far away, or they simply don't like venturing out of their city. There's no alcohol involved, so it's boring. Doesn't help that most have negative attitudes towards anything new. This was another popular, a big theme in this thread of comments. The whole "there's nothing to do" thing. Man, I personally have some opinions on that myself. I'm just gonna say this: whenever people say there's nothing to do in the valley, I think that's I think they're thinking of the valley the way that it was like 10, 20, 30 years ago. I think everybody held on to that, everyone looked around 15, 20, 30 years ago, and they said, wow, there's nothing to do here, and that's how it's gonna be for the rest of our lives. That's an old mindset. Like, the valley has grown so much, and the valley, okay, the valley before the pandemic even is not the same valley that it is now. It's a whole different place. Besides the fact that after the pandemic, we all came out and there was like 6 billion coffee chains and 5 trillion car washes. But I mean, there's other things too. Like, we have a school of medicine, UTRGV is like a school of medicine, right? We have a school of podiatric medicine, podiatry. Those aren't things to do, but I'm just talking about like the caliber of like where the valley's at. Like, we have D1 college football now at UTRGV. Like, that's pretty legit. Like, we actually have a new soccer team in Harlingen, the Red Crown Parrots. But anyways, like, there's a lot to do here. And it's funny because some people are saying, whoever says there's nothing to do, like, that's because you're boring. I'll be unbiased there, but I don't disagree with that. Somebody commented this, man, taking shots now. I haven't been here, but there's a comment that says, El Último Taco is not number 1 in town and shouldn't even be top 10 in Brownsville. So I guess somebody has beef with El Último Taco, no pun intended. But he says it shouldn't even be top 10 in Brownsville. Último Taco? El Último Taco. Let's get your side on this, man. Like, what is this all about? And the person's name isn't even on here, so I can't even tell you who said it. But, this is an open... it's unbiased, so, I'm willing to let you guys put your word in. What do you guys think? Do you like El Último Taco? But that was funny. Like, I was just going through them and somebody took a shot at El Último Taco. People here have zero ambition to grow. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, so I've seen that a lot too. Like, a lot of us, I guess, feel that we should unionize, or just that we should fight for better wages, because I think what people are saying in this thread is that we've always known in the valley you don't get paid that much, and everybody's just accepted that. It's inherent, it's like, oh yeah, it's the valley, so you're not going to get paid a lot, but at least the cost of living is low. But what everybody's saying here is that, like, it shouldn't stay that way. Like, everything's low until it gets high, right? So, which is true when you're thinking about apartment renting, right? So like, yeah, that rent is not low anymore. There's enough car washes in the valley. That's not an unpopular opinion either. That one got 42 upvotes. Yeah. So, guys, why do you think that we have so many car washes? And then separately, why do you think we have so many coffee shops when we didn't have them before? And I'm talking about the chain coffee shops. Like, what are, I don't drink coffee, so like I'm the last person that you should be asking to name a list, but Ali does. But what, like, why did they both pop off at the same time? Like, there wasn't a billion car washes or a billion coffee like chains, and then the pandemic ended, and then now there's like one on every neighborhood, and there's like, even they probably like get change from each other, like, hey, like, can you break 100? Yeah, here's this, here, have a pop cup. They probably do that because there's enough. But yeah, that's definitely not an unpopular opinion. And then somebody said, stop talking so bad about it. Like, I guess their unpopular opinion is that we talk bad about the valley. The second we come together and agree that we need to be better together is the second we can finally make this place worth living. And then he got up and he's like, yeah, he got 71 upvotes. So I guess everybody did clap like digitally. It's easy to make fun of everything and talk down about the valley instead of talking about the cool things we got down here. You see, somebody thinks we have cool things down here. That's good. The RGV, remember, unpopular opinion. The RGV is actually a nice place to live and raise a family. Aww. After years of talking down on it, saying everything that everyone else says, oh, it's too boring, there's nothing to do, the people suck, and so on and so on. Not gonna lie, it took some time for it to grow on me, but once you actually embrace the valley or even think about it, the slow pace of everything down here, that's what makes it so special. Nice. It's not like San Antonio where if you have to be somewhere at 12 p.m., you don't have to leave your house at 10 a.m., still praying you don't get in late, wait 2+ hours to be seated for dinner. And even more importantly, the crime, we don't not have the same crime as other cities have. You don't hear about drive-by shootings, murders, carjackings, home invasions, ours, or anything like happening every other weekend. And then people are agreeing that I guess the valley is a lot safer than in other places. I recently moved here from Houston, and this is absolutely it. I guess in Houston, every other day someone is shot dead driving to or from work because someone got pissed off with them. The drivers there would sooner run you off the road than miss their exit. I'm so over it. So this guy likes the valley. That's awesome. Mr. MC Shoveled. Thank you for your comment. Football, brain damage, and heat stroke are stupid choices, especially when encouraged for children. Yeah, I guess we don't like football. Yeah, that's an unpopular opinion because football is king in Texas and it's just as big in the valley. People are rude, uneducated, and jealous. There are no good vibes. Dang, man. There are no good vibes. But why though? Like, so I'm not trying to say the valley is all great. Like, I'm not the cheerleader for the valley. But like, I don't know, like, we have to live here. If we have to, first of all, if you don't have to live here, then, you know, like, why are we complaining if we're still here? But if we are here, like, you might as well try to like look for something to enjoy, right? Like, I've always said, like, if I have to be here, I might as well enjoy it. The Mexican food is not good. And somebody's like, that is a really great unpopular opinion. Yeah, so somebody said the Mexican food is not good in the valley. Everyone who agrees with this statement, the Mexican food is not so good, then where is it good? Like, I'm not like trying to fight back. Like, tell us where the Mexican food is, like Mexico, I guess, because like, yeah, I mean, San Antonio, El Paso, maybe El Paso, right? Like what do you guys, where would you prefer to have Mexican food? What else? Let's see. Gas station tacos make me gag. That is an unpopular opinion. So, are you talking about breakfast tacos or like lunch tacos? Because yeah, like Stripes tacos for breakfast, everybody loves them. Like, I'm gonna start giving my opinions here. They're amazing. Breakfast tacos at Stripes are freaking amazing. Laredo Taco Company. But if he's talking about lunch tacos, I can see that, right? Because like not a lot of people want to get the lunch plate because like it's like gas station food at that point. It starts to feel like it. But nobody in the valley considers breakfast tacos gas station food. It's tacos. Like, it's like legit. Like people get breakfast tacos from Stripes as like gifts for other people. Like, I got everybody tacos, and everybody's like, yeah, like we like that stuff, man. Yeah. Okay, this is a funny, unpopular opinion from Capable Assistance 88. This is what Capable had to say. Taco Bell is not that bad. They are just overpriced. I think it's because with Taco Bell, like the thing that we have on that is that, like, I think we're not supposed to compare it to Mexican food. At least like in the Valley. Like I know we got rated like best Mexican restaurant like a couple years ago, which was stupid. But I think if we think of it as its own thing, then we can start to feel that Taco Bell is not that bad. But that caveat there, like fast food at that caliber is like not good for you, and it's like it is bad like health wise. But as far as like flavor or whatever, I think that a lot of us hate Taco Bell because it's like not tacos, right? But just think of it as its own thing, I guess. But anyway, somebody's like calling them out that they use powdered beans. So animals, ooh, unpopular. I hope this is not an unpopular opinion, but sometimes it feels like it is in the Valley. This is an area that we can improve, guys, for sure. All of us together. Animals deserve better care, from Factor Player. And then somebody commented, the way people in the Valley treat animals is heartbreaking. It should not be a normal occurrence to see packs of roaming dogs and dead cats and dogs all over the roads on a regular basis. And somebody else said, exactly. The blame goes to careless pet owners and to careless city officials. The Valley is super lazy and careless. No, not all of it, but the more outweighs the less, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna straight up agree with that one. I think our animals do deserve better care in the Valley, guys. We actually did an interview with Yaki Animal Rescue, and they mentioned that the rate of strays, we have the highest rate of strays per, I don't know if it's per like person or just like per capita. There's more stray dogs and cats here than anywhere else in the country, is what they told us, and it's not hard to believe. We also did an episode with a veterinarian, a cat and dog veterinarian, Dr. Ireland Gonzalez, and she mentioned that in general, like the country faces a veterinary shortage, like veterinary care shortage. Veterinarians are not, like there's not a whole lot of them, but especially in the Valley, there's less. And then that's just talking about like small animals, small pet, cat and dog. But there's also exotic pets so the Valley is big on exotic pets like reptiles, amphibians, bunnies, gerbils, ferrets. I was going to say like two words at the same time. But there's not a lot of veterinarians to take care of them. And it's true. Like another unfortunate thing that happens a lot in the Valley is that there's always like an article like city of blank found like 40 dogs in some guy's apartment. Like really, like that's kind of, and that's even sadder because those are people that are probably like they have like a big heart and they're trying to save all the dogs, but like at some point it just becomes unsustainable, and it just happens all the time. Like there's like ordinances now, like some towns you can only have like up to 4 or 5 pets or dogs because like it's happened so much that people will like overdo it. And I know this year alone, I think I've heard of 3. Do you call them raids or busts or just like discoveries like of people with like more than 10, 20 like cats or dogs? The cats one is super easy to do. Like it only take you a couple years to like end up with like 10 cats. So that's unfortunate too, which is another thing. Animals deserve better care. We don't spay and neuter our pets the way that we should in the Valley. And I think that's just a product of like us here, like not knowing that you're even supposed to take your pet to the vet. Like my dog was like 17 and he never went to the vet. He was tough, like we take pride in that. Like our Mexican dogs are like the toughest, but I mean, they still need to be taken care of, right? Like spaying is good for them. That way there's not like 30 like panchitos running around. And let's see what else we have here. Let's see. And yeah, so I think to sum it all up, I asked for hot takes, and the biggest things that people were talked about was that the Valley doesn't know how to drive, there's nothing to do, and that animals deserve better care. That's probably the biggest themes that I saw, scrolling through the comments. And there was a couple of funny ones in there too, like Taco Bell's good. And that was a nice little razzle dazzle in some of the dark stuff that people were saying. what do you guys think? Any other hot takes? If you have other unpopular opinions, just put them down in the comments. Tell us what you think, what things that you feel are not spoken enough, or that no one says, or that no one else thinks. So whoever said that Mexican food in the valley is not good, that was an unpopular opinion. Props to that guy or girl who said that, because whether or not you agree with it, they definitely understood the assignment. I basically wanted to come on and talk about those things because it wasn't like our usual like happy like good stuff. A lot of this were things that we can work on. They definitely are things we can work on, like the whole littering issue. Let's work on that one, guys. For sure. Let's try not to mess with Texas as much or at all, because it's our home, right? Like we have to take care of our home. It's our united home, and we need to make sure that it stays beautiful. Like when it comes to like the actual landscape of the valley and the way like the nature, it actually is beautiful. The valley has a lot of beauty. A lot of us haven't gone out to look at it. Like there's a lot of locals who just haven't been to the state parks or just nature centers, and that's because we've lived here our whole lives. There's a lot of beauty here. We want to make sure we keep it that way. So yeah, guys, like I said, let me know what you think about that. I'm going to give you this week's Valley homework, of course, like we always do. This week's Valley homework of the week is to tell me your favorite thing about the RGV in the comments. What do you love about it? I asked everybody that in season 1. At the end of every season, I'd ask them what they love. Now I want to turn it back to you guys. What's one thing you love about the Valley? Let us know. And also, if you have a hot take, let us know. We'll see you guys next week on the Real Grande podcast. My name is Sam, and have a great day. Say no to drugs, and gracias.